Now that the season's done, I love to come down to the river and practice my goose calling. You know, we do a lot of shows and do a lot of instructional pieces on operating a short reed goose call. But one thing a lot of guys overlook is the basic foundation of blowing a goose call. You got to be able to hold the call properly. And what I want to talk about today is the first step to properly blowing a goose call, and that's hand placement and consistency and properly holding the call. This is the most important thing because a lot of guys, they might have the right mouth mechanics, but their hand placement may not always be the same. Sometimes they might be too tight, sometimes they might be too open, they might choke too far back on the call. And you know, they're always getting different sounds and they can't figure out why they're getting these different sounds. One of the first things you want to do before you ever worry about executing advanced sounds or getting faster on a call is make sure your hand placement is exactly right every time. The way I like to hold the call, and everybody's different, this isn't, you know, the correct way for everybody, is I like to take my thumb and my pointer finger and wrap it around the end piece of the call. And then I'll take my pointer finger, wrapping it around the call, and I use my thumb to hold my pointer finger down. So right now I've got a very good grip on the call with just 2 fingers. These other 3 fingers are for controlling your back pressure. And what I like to do is keep them arced up like this, as if you had a golf ball in your hand. What this does is it creates a little sound chamber inside of your hand, and this is going to help with realism on the call. Now this is called our on hand, the part, our hand that is holding the call. Our other hand is called the off hand. What I'm going to do with my off hand is I want to cup it like I'm trying to hold water, or I'm basically just trying to create the largest inside area inside my hand. What I'm doing is I'm going to take my fingertips and place them right on my knuckles, okay? And if you look at the back side of my hands, it's closed off because I don't want that sound coming back at my face. I want to direct that sound towards the geese or the direction I want to call. So I've got my fingers on my knuckles, and if you notice, if you keep your fingers on this side of your knuckles and don't overlap your hand, it actually creates like a brace, and it kind of keeps your knuckles in the correct position. So I've got my fingers on my knuckles, my hands closed off, and that right there is the hand position I like to use to operate a short reed goose call. And it's very important to practice that. It's actually more important to practice your hand placement than it is operating the goose call, because if you don't have the right hand placement, then the call's not going to sound right. For example, if I picked up the call and my hands are too tight, you hear the call kind of being choked out. That's because I had too much back pressure on the hands. Let's say I pick up the call and my hands are way too loose. The call breaks over and sounds good, but there's no goose tones. So with proper hand placement, I've got everything right. I've got proper tone. So what you want to do is, the way I practice that is I put the call on my lanyard and I drop it down. And then what you want to do is practice picking the call up, and you want it to be second nature. You want to be able to pick up the call and go right to proper hand placement. And practice that. There's nothing wrong with, practicing. See how fast you can pick it up and have proper hand placement. If you're having to pick up the call and you're having to, get your hand placement right, and you're always adjusting, then what you want to do is just keep practicing proper hand placement. Once proper hand placement is second nature, then operating the goose call is going to come a lot easier.